Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna. I am back now. I did take about a week off. I needed to recharge. I needed to look after myself. I wasn't feeling the best. Allergies really kicked in the last week with, I guess, all the heat that's been happening. I had migraines for a couple of days. It was not a good week in that way, but I am back. I am feeling much, much better, and I feel recharged and ready to get to work. So today I just want to play catch up with you, and I want to talk to you about what's been going on in the last week. Nightmare customers, not necessarily mine, but in general. But nightmare customers, nightmare sellers. AI that's coming out, it's being rolled out in beta for Posh US right now. Talking about listing streak again, and I want to talk about how my July ended up. And I want to talk about the shoes that I promised I was going to get listed by yesterday. Today is Monday. I was supposed to get 4 pairs of shoes listed by yesterday. So we're going to talk about that. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at you and I don't mean to be. All right, first off, nightmare customers. I am fortunate I don't have a ton of these type of customers that come and are mean and nasty to me or over the top. Once in a while I have one, but I always approach it as a business dealing. It is not personal. That takes a while to get used to. I know that if you don't have experience with customer service, it does take a while to just get into that mode where it's like, yep, that's just the business. They don't like the item, whatever it is. It has nothing to do with me as a person. It does take time for you to learn that, but once you do, then dealing with those types of customers are much easier. But one of the reasons I bring this up is because what I think is a nightmare customer, other people will think is a walk in the park. Or what other people think that are a nightmare customer, I'm like, okay, but that's not really bad what they're doing. And this came from a Facebook group, a post that I saw, and I did comment on it. It was, the customer was asking questions, I guess. They were asking questions about the item, whether or not the person would accept a certain amount. And I think from what we saw, it was 3 or 4 messages, then another 3 or 4 comments on the item, and then into the bundle they did a couple more. Now the seller was upset because they were like, oh my god, they're asking this, they're asking this, they're asking this, and they're mad at me because I didn't respond right away. And I looked at all the messages and I was like, okay, they span a time of like 23 hours. It's not like every 5 minutes they were asking something different and got mad at you for not responding. And I don't remember the timing, but say at 10 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, they asked a question and didn't get a response. 2 hours later, they asked something. And then 3 hours after that, they asked something. And then 8 hours later, they asked something. So it wasn't like it's 5 minutes apart. So I've had people that will ask a question, and if you don't answer within that 5 minutes, they get mad. I've had that happen. And it's unfortunate because we sell coast to coast, so there's lots of time zones. People in Vancouver, it could be 7 o'clock at night there, but it's 10 o'clock here. I'm in bed at that time. So when you ask a question, you have to be very aware of time zones. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's that person's in bed, give them some time to answer. But this seller was really, really upset because this person had asked 4 or 5 questions, or were like, hello, why are you not answering me? And the seller was really mad at them. They're like, oh, I don't want to sell to this person. This is a red flag for me, and on and on. And I was like, a lot of people were responding saying, yep, I'd block, I wouldn't send them the item, I would not sell to them. And I was like, wait a minute here. The messages are like within a span of 23 hours. Why are you mad about that? I don't understand. And actually, the customer said, it's not a good way to run your business by not answering people when they ask a question. And of course, the seller took offense to that. And to me, I was like, no, the buyer's kind of right. If they had said that 2 hours later after the first message, no, that wouldn't be right. But in this instance, there's nothing wrong with the customer. And I actually said that. I'm like, no, you know what? There's like 4 or 5 messages within a span of 23 hours. What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So sometimes the nightmare is coming from the seller's sort of perception, also from their own sort of personal feelings towards that. Sometimes it's a nightmare seller. Sometimes it's a nightmare customer. I think right now, I think the world is going a little, I don't know, and I think we're going to have a lot more people quick to jump on the frustration boat, if you know what I mean. So if you always just keep in mind that it is business, it is not personal, that will help. And if you need to rant, I don't suggest you type out something that, you know, tells them how you really feel, because that could accidentally get sent. But if you want to voice it, or you want to write it on a separate piece of paper just to get it out of your system, absolutely 100%. Believe me, I don't say what I really want to say sometimes in that situation, because it just wouldn't do my business well. So I have Paul, I vent to him, he hears all about it. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of which, Paul's coming up the stairs. Anyway, moving on. Poshmark US for sure is bringing out AI listings. I believe you would just upload a photo and it will fill in all the stuff for you. Haven't heard great things about it. Not sure how I feel about it, because honestly, it doesn't really, for me, doesn't really help me. AI descriptions, I just don't like the way they are. I do understand that they use a bunch of keywords, which is a good thing. But for me to sit down and write 25 words, I think Poshmark recommends 25 words at least in your description. That's a couple of sentences, you know. So for me to do that, it's very, very simple. It doesn't take a lot of time. For me, what takes the time is doing the photographs and getting them uploaded. That takes more time than writing the description and putting in all the, you know, the category and the brand name and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't take very long. So for me, I will try it when I get it, because why not? Let's see what it's all about. But for me, it's one of those things again. It's like meh. It's like it could be really helpful for those people that don't have a lot of time to devote to their businesses, so I can see the good of it. I don't know about it for me. I don't like AI descriptions. I think they look really, really fake and sound fake, and they make a lot of mistakes still. So you still have to babysit it. You still have to go in and proofread it. But again, it can work for some people. I will try it because I like to try new things, and why not? So if you have it, if you've tried it, let me know what you think of it. The ones that I have talked to don't particularly like it, but it's also new, so we'll see. Listing streak, I finally got it on my Posh Canada closet this morning. It's so exciting. Sorry, that's me being sarcastic. I still don't have it on my US closet, so Posh US still doesn't like me very much. I did make a couple of sales, which was great. I think I had about 8 or 9 days with no sales whatsoever on Posh US at the end of July. It was crazy dead for me, and that does not normally happen. I don't always make a lot, but I usually have a sale every other day. Usually when we go to the cross-border shipper, I do have 1 or 2 or 3 packages. And last week we went twice, and I had no packages at all for Posh US. So July for Posh US was bad. Really, 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 really bad. And it was bad not just with sales or no sales. I wasn't getting a ton of likes. I wasn't getting a lot of shares. There wasn't a lot of action on my account. So I don't know what happened. We'll see. I am doing my relisting. I have done my kids' stuff, my menswear. I've started on women's. I think this morning I did jeans. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing my accessories. And that's going really well. It's helping me feel organized. I have sold some of the things I've relisted, which is really good. I'm really happy with that. Posh Canada was okay in July. A little bit down, but it was much, much better than Posh US. eBay as well was a little down, but it was still okay. So far this month, knock on wood, August, Posh Canada has been pretty busy every single day, which is really great. Posh US, I've made 2 sales. Yay! So I've had packages going out tomorrow, which is great, but it's still, I don't know. But there's a lot more action now. I'm getting a lot more shares, a lot more likes, so I'm hopeful that it'll be okay in August. What else did I want to talk to you about? Oh, the new thing I want to do in the sourcing. I noticed it because we went, where did we go? I think it's because we went to the bins. Yes, on Thursday, we went down, picked stuff up at an auction, which is really cool, and we went to the cross-border shipper, and I went with Paul, and we went to the bins. Didn't buy a lot. I think I got like 3 or 4 things. But I noticed when we got home from there, we came home, we got into doing whatever we were doing. Paul was sitting at his desk, and he was actually starting his drafts for the things he picked up from the bins. So he brought the stuff up here, took just a really quick photo of the item to start the draft. So he has drafts already ready to go. So he was doing his research and filling out what he could. So then he only had his photographs to do. And I thought, wow, that's really efficient. I need to start doing that because I have things still sitting in my death pile that, you know what, you saw a month ago in a haul that I just have not photographed yet. So not this week. I won't be sourcing, I don't think, this week because I still have to play catch up. I'm going to start doing that when I do my hauls, when I come home and I have my purchases and I start doing my research, because I'll do that on my computer. I'm going to start my drafts to see if that helps motivate me to get that photographed and listed, because that's a lot of the work, right? Doing the actual, the photographing it for me is the worst, but doing the research and getting it started will help me, I think, get those things done and listed. So I'm going to see if that works for me. We'll see. I think it's a really good idea. You guys do that? Or are you like me and have stuff that's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that? I mean, this summer's I've been really bad this summer. I will be 100% honest. I've been not really into it. So this summer's been really bad. So I'm hoping that, this month I get back into my routine and get everything going. And yes, I'm feeling it. I really am. Which brings me to the shoes that I was going to get listed. I had 4 pairs, I believe. Michael Kors boots, the Y3 sneakers, the Prada shoes, which I'm going to ask you about in a second, and the Gucci's. So everything's photographed. So I did do that, which is good. I will get the Y3s and the boots listed today. That's my goal. I am still doing a little bit of research on these just to make sure that everything's sort of copacetic. I think these are fine. I don't see anything really wrong with them. They have been resold. I have to make sure I put that in the listing. But I have a question. This kind of heel, is it a spool heel? I think it's a spool heel. Let me know if you know, because I'm not sure. And I want to make sure I get it right. And with the Gucci, the only thing that concerns me really with the Gucci is the sizing, because it says 5.5 and it's not a European size. So I just want to do a little more research. And if you look, this is crooked. So I'm not 100% convinced that these are real, but we'll see. We'll still do some more research on them before I actually list them. So what I do when somebody had asked about my process, I will take a photo and do a Google Lens search first to see if anything pops up that is similar or the exact same. And then I go into the listings that I do find for those similar items, and I do some comparison with my shoe and the shoe in the listing. And I also just Google how to tell a fake Prada shoe, how to tell a fake Gucci shoe, things like that, just to get like the logos and things like that. There's a lot of really good information. A little time consuming, but it is good information and it does save you. Now, with the Prada, I don't think they're worth a lot, like maybe $100. We'll see. So I wouldn't necessarily get them authenticated at this point in time. The Gucci, once I do my own other research and find out what I really think, I might get them authenticated with, I use authenticate first, just to give the listing more weight and more, it gives the buyer a little more confidence in it if it's already been authenticated by a third party. So I do that as well. Anyway, that is it for today. It is Monday. I have already done my relisting for today, which is good. I got to pack up a shirt that sold on 'cause it's going tomorrow. What else did I have to do today? I have a list. I actually am going to go through all of our eBay listings to double check that nothing is listed that is sold already, because I went in to look for something on my eBay listings. I think it was for a dress, and noticed that there was a dress there listed that had sold a while ago. And I know sometimes I do forget, that does happen, but I also know for a fact that I delisted something and it gets relisted. So what I have to do, and this is a good little tip, when you end something on eBay, you can end the listing, but then I recommend going in and deleting it as well. That way it's away from the whole platform, and it doesn't get relisted if that actually happens, just so you know. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. It's Monday. It doesn't feel like a Monday because it's kind of a holiday here. It's a weird sort of August long weekend, which is whatever. Lots of things are still open, but I still feel like it's a holiday Monday. So we'll see. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I should be back in a couple of days, and we'll find something to talk about, okay? Bye, guys.